busy. We're busy chatting, and we're going to curb our swearing.
Yeah.
Come in and join us.
I've actually not sworn since I've been doing a show here, which is amazing because I've got a potty mouth.
Which one are you on, Dom?
You go to this one.
I'm here.
I heard that.
Do you want to see?
Yeah, go on, we'll swap.
I heard that you played a song that had a lot of F-bombs in it.
Well, I keep choosing songs, and then Steve, like, you know, who's not one normally to get stressed about things, just gets. He's had to take 50 out or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't think I've played one because he keeps editing them out. Will used to do it really well. What a loss Will is.
Oh,
I love Will.
It's a shame.
He was like an old man trapped in a young man's body, wasn't he?
He was 23 years old.
It was just unbelievable.
It was incredible.
His knowledge of 90s music and like, it was just so weird.
It was. It's a shame. For those who don't know, Will.
Are we on?
Yeah, you're
Oh,
doing
right,
the show.
we're chatting, are we? All right.
Yeah. Why do you think we're wearing headphones and Joe's
I've
coming?
no idea. Hello, everybody.
I'm trying to think, Dom, the last time that we met.
Well, I think we've only met once, and I remember when it was.
Go on.
No, we met right at the beginning,
At the
11 o'clock show, like
Yeah.
years ago.
Yeah.
But we met when we were doing a thing with Danny Wallace.
Yes, that's the thing, yeah. Some weird podcast you were doing. Mackenzie was the guest before
Yeah,
me.
that's right.
And then I came on, and
Okay.
it was when people were chucking money at podcasts.
Yeah. And I can't say what the name of the podcast was because immediately we'll be thrown off
was
air.
it swearing?
It was very swearing. It was the greatest
I was going to say it.
idea for a show ever. I'm not going to say, I can't say it. I could give you the Spanish translation.
No, don't even give us that.
You don't even want that?
Huge Spanish community in
I think I've made the word up in Spanish.
Okay.
No, I'm not going to do it then. But okay, you know the C word?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was called C word or not C word.
Okay, all right.
And
Chocolate or not chocolate?
Yeah, and
kids?
basically, you just threw a name in there, like a random celeb
wow.
name. And it was even better if you didn't know the person. And then everyone would agree whether they were a C word or not. If everyone agreed they were, you moved on.
Yeah.
If everyone agreed they weren't, you moved on. But if there was a difference of opinion, then
debating.
you'd argue it out. Occasionally you could throw in a joker like Chris Evans.
Yeah.
And that would be it.
How long ago? 14 years?
God knows,
Yeah,
yeah, long time ago.
Well, we did. I think we did meet a couple of times. I think at the 11 o'clock show.
Yeah.
And
That was a weird thing, the 11 o'clock show.
It was nuts,
Because
right?
I didn't want to do it. I was forced to do that because I was just about to get... I just made the demo, the pilot for Trigger Happy, and Caroline Leddy, who was the Channel 4 commissioner, said it would really do you some good politically if you'd go on the 11 o'clock show. And I didn't want to go on the 11 o'clock show because I'm not a team player.
Yeah.
I don't think you're a team player either, really.
No, but I was desperate to go on the 11 o'clock show because I had nothing and I was about to give it all up and get a proper job.
Oh, were you?
Yeah. So I was desperate for
But
that.
I remember seeing your interviews, like your deadpan interviews with people on the street. I thought, right, this is what the 11 o'clock show should be. And it was moments of brilliance, 11 o'clock show, and then moments of weirdness. But I liked it because it just got loads of people. Yeah. It's that thing you don't get here. It was like, it wasn't a Saturday Night Live, but it's the closest we'll get to like, let's chuck everyone on and see what happened. You know?
My one regret about that is, because I was hired to do the Vox Pops, and then like the week before it started, they couldn't find the third presenter.
Yeah.
It was down to Sean Pye. Did you try for the third presenter? Because everyone
They
tried.
auditioned me, but I literally in my audition, I said, I don't want to be a presenter.
Yeah.
So I thought, right, I'll get this now.
Yeah.
But I didn't.
And literally the Thursday before it started, I did a pilot and they gave it to me. My one regret is I shouldn't have been a presenter. I should have, because I was then tainted with being the weak link. Because Daisy was great, Sasha was great, Mackenzie was great.
Yeah.
But I got tainted as a weak link. Whereas if I was just doing the Vox Pops, I would have had a bit of mistake.
But also, well, I shouldn't say this because you are a presenter now. But I mean, I think you're like me. You're a disruptor. And I don't think we should really be presenters. I mean, you're a brilliant radio presenter. Don't get me wrong on that, but we're disruptors, really. We're kind of. I think we're ankle biters.
Yeah.
That's not a euphemism. It's just an ankle bite. So I don't know. One regret. You've only got one regret. God,
well, with the 11 o'clock show, actually, I've got loads.
I'm not saying for you. I mean, I've got. I'm glad you've only got one. I've got 50,000.
Yeah. Well, I got quite a few, but it was a weird show. It got really mean. That was the thing.
Yeah, it did get really mean. It was mean, and it was mean back then. I mean, one of the things about Trigger Happy was I never thought we were being mean, and I never wanted to be mean because it was pretty easy to be mean.
Yeah.
And I do like a bit of mean humour, but it's kind of I don't know. Joe, so the 11 o'clock show was the show that I kind of started in. It was very satirical. It was late night
What did we have to say when the Vox Pops?
It was at 11 o'clock, weirdly.
Well, it never was.
No, it wasn't.
Oh.
It was always 5-2 or 5 past. But so I would do these Vox Pops, and we used to do. I remember we did a couple that were more than just chatting. We did one where it was secret filming, where I was in a white coat, and I would go up to people, and go, "I'm a doctor, and we're doing health checks. Yeah. Can I see how much you weigh?" And they go, "Yeah, all right." And I would grab them and lift them up. We did stuff like that, and I really enjoyed that. And I remember, you're right. You got a phone call.
Yes, I was.
Do you need to take it?
I got to take this.
Okay, fine.
Chris, I'm on the radio at the moment. Yeah? Can you call me back in a bit? How long are you going to be?
How long? 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever.
10 minutes? Yeah, we'll be a bit. We'll be a while. I'm on Jack FM with Iain Lee. Yeah. Is everything okay? All right, good. All right, bye.
Here's the thing. Was that a thing?
No.
That was a real phone call?
Yeah.
Because I remember you fainting on
Yes,
Judy.
I did do that. Now that was really annoying. So again, because a lot of the things I just didn't want to do. I was a sort of sugar lump punk, nearly swore there.
Yeah.
I was a rubbish punk, really. Like because I felt I had real imposter syndrome. I didn't feel I fitted in. And so when I was asked to do these things, I didn't want to do them. And obviously when Trigger Happy went massive, we were asked to do all these things. And one of them was Rich and Judy. And Rich and Judy was not even cool at that stage.
No, it was.
It wasn't even
very
ironically
nice.
cool. You know, like it wasn't the Liverpool years or whatever. And so I said, no, I'm not going to do that. And then we had a chat in the office, me and Sam, who made it. And they asked again. And I said, well, look, okay, I'll do it. But what I'll do is I'll go on and I'll faint. And Sam said, no, you won't. I said, yes, I will. So we got into this dare where I didn't want to do it. Because most of the time I don't want to do these things. So anyway, long story short, I went on to Richard and Judy. And firstly, I got the B team. I didn't get Richard and Judy.
Who did you get?
I got Fern Britton and John Leslie. Do you remember him?
I do remember John Leslie.
I think we all remember for various reasons. So it was quite odd. So anyway, I went on and they started chatting to me, and I could see Sam just off going, you're going to do it, you're going to do it. I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. And I was gearing myself up for it. And if I watch it, I can see myself doing it. And they're literally showing clips of me doing pranks. So it's like not that odd.
Yeah.
So I try and do a bit of backstory. So I just go, oh, sorry, Fern, I'm not feeling too well. She goes, oh, you're right. I go, yeah, and I'm feeling so guilty like that. Anyway, they go away to some clips. They come back, and I think, right, this is it. So I just suddenly faint live on the show. It all goes absolutely pear-shaped. Everyone's running around. And I'm thinking, what do? Do I just stay down here or not? And instead of going to a clip, they stay on me. And in the end, Fern Britton grabs me, and I sort of pretend to come round, and I am in Fern Britton's bosoms.
Wowzers.
Which is, an odd place to be.
Oh, yeah.
And it's all getting really strange. And then in the end, they sort of cut away and say, well, Dom's not feeling too well and stuff. And Sam's like, yeah, you did it. But then he leaves. And I think it was his revenge, because in Trigger Happy, I'd always do stuff, and then I'd run away and leave Sam to deal with it. And he just went, and the nurse, there's like an on-screen, off-screen nurse came, and I had to go and sit for 2 hours, and I just want to say, look, I just made all this up. Can I go away, please?
So you never admitted that it was all a load.
No, and then, no, of course not, because that'd be so embarrassing. Like, if you do these things, you've got to just run away. Like, you don't want to hang around.
I can't believe you were less nervous to faint on air than just do the interview.
Oh, but I mean, the interview. I was just talking about myself. It's all I do. It's just dull, isn't it?
It's not dull. You're very interesting.
No, but I mean, for me, it's dull. I know the stories.
How did you find lockdown?
How did I find it?
Yeah.
Odd in lots of ways. I actually because I'm a travel writer and I do loads of travel writing and stuff, and so really it's not a great thing for a travel writer, but I think I found it, career-wise it was a nightmare, because there was no money, nothing was happening at all, literally. But apart from that, I really loved it. I mean, I don't really want to go anywhere. I mean, I like travelling.
Hang on, you're a travel writer that doesn't like going
anywhere? Well, no, I like travelling, but if I'm not doing that bit,
right.
I didn't miss going out to the pub or going to see people or stuff like that.
How did you find? Because I ended up on Twitch, and I was able to.
I did. That's where I saw you.
Twitch hired me. They got in touch and said. Because I lost my job at Talk, thank God.
I can't believe we didn't. Of course, that's where we sort of had a
there was a little chitty chat.
Yeah.
And Jeremy Vine tweeted, "Oh, it's a shame Iain Lee's lost his job." And Twitch got in touch and said, "Would you? How about if we paid you every month a set amount?"
You got paid. Oh.
I got paid enough that I was able to go to my old producer at Talk and say, look, if I gave you half of this, is that enough for you to leave?
Really?
Oh, yeah. But so that was for a year, and then we had to do Patreon and all that.
Yeah.
But you were on Twitch.
I was. Well, yeah, that was just odd. Someone contacted me, and I was sitting at home doing nothing really, and someone came along. It was actually Steve First.
Steve
First?
yeah. He set up like a little network.
Yeah, and they set up a little network, and they said, "Would you like to try it?" And I thought, well, I've got nothing else to do.
Yeah.
And so I set up Twitch, and I kind of enjoyed it. What was really good about it was I think it helped me. I do a show here on Sundays, and I've never done radio before ever, and I just waffled on like for hours, and did weird stuff and played music and. I don't know if I certainly wasn't as good as you on it, but I kind of enjoyed it. Yeah, it did save me a little bit actually during lockdown because it did suddenly mean it's that weird thing you turn it on. But the very first night I tried it, it's a bit like my live stuff. People sort of say, "Oh, what's the worst that can happen?" I go, "Well, let me explain to you in great detail what's the worst that can happen." So on Twitch on the first night, they explained to me what was going on, but because of lockdown, they couldn't come round. So I had a sort of one earbud in me, so with someone telling me what was going on.
Oh wow, you were all professional.
No, because he was on the other end of the phone, because I had no idea what was going on, and I was trying to run the desk and stuff. Anyway, it all started. They said, "Look, it's going to be fine," and so I turned it on, and I remember literally just staring into the screen for about 40 seconds, total silence. And the joy of being me is everyone thinks, "Oh, he's doing a bit," but I just wasn't, and I knew things were going badly when, like 8 minutes in. My son, who's like 17, just ran up and he came in. He just went, "This is awful." Just turn it off. That was so bad. But I got there in the end.
The show on Friday, this coming Friday, is it the new Theatre Oxford or New Oxford Theatre?
It's
the new Theatre Oxford. It's the Enormo Dome in Oxford. I don't know why this has been booked. There's been some terrible misunderstanding. I booked the Dog and Duck in Oxford. Now, it's weird. I mean, I am excited to be doing Oxford because I'm not a live performer. I did one live tour in about 2011 following I'm a Celeb, and I just didn't know what I was doing. But, you get booked into these things. And so I just honestly didn't know what I was doing. And I got given a savage kicking, quite rightly so, because I'm not a stand-up. I never have been. So I kind of withdrew to lick my wounds. And then about 4 years ago, I thought, you know what, it really irritated me when people say you're a comedian, just go and do 10 minutes. I don't have 10 minutes. That's not what I do. My stuff's all riffing. It's all made up, as you can tell. And so I thought, I've got to do something about this. So I started trying. Everyone always doesn't understand why the guy that dresses a squirrel and shouts into a mobile phone is going around North Korea or is going monster hunting in the Congo. Or
you're not allowed to change.
No, that's the point. And to me, it makes total sense. But to no one else it is. So I thought, what if I did a show that kind of tried to explain how in my head it all made sense? And so it's called Holiday Snaps. And essentially it's called Holiday Snaps because I go off on all these trips. And they are work trips. So I go on my own. And when I get back, I say to my wife, "Hello," and she goes, "Do the washing up." And I say, "You don't want to see my holiday snaps?" And she goes, "No one wants to see your holiday snaps." And so was the joke.
Brutal.
But really the show takes you through from me growing up in Lebanon and explaining how weird it was growing up in Lebanon, where you have very limited career opportunities: spy, travel writer, diplomat, foreign correspondent, and I've been all four, or have I? And then it goes from that to working in politics, because I worked at ITN and I was not a political producer. I had a pass to get into the House of Commons every day for 2 years. Wow. I stole so much there. I stole a House of Commons phone book. I've still got Jeffrey Archer's car phone number, which is like I ring occasionally when I'm annoyed. And then Trigger Happy kind of happened literally by chance. Like I got fired from ITN for in the end interviewing David Mellor, and I got someone to kick a football and it hit him in the head, and he complained, and I got fired. And I was looking for a job in documentaries with Michael Cockerell, and my CV went to the people making Mark Thomas's first show.
Yeah, of course.
And on the first day, I remember thinking, this is crazy. Like, we had to see what we could take through a McDonald's drive-through. We took a tank, a clown car, a hamburger van where we just bought a whole lot of hamburgers and then sold them for half the price. And I remember thinking, what, you're being paid for this? Like, I'd pay you to do this. And I realised that I had a talent that I still don't think is a real talent, but I just like doing that stuff.
Yeah.
And so that's then, and then Trigger Happy happened and stuff. But really, all I really wanted to do was travel. Like, I was always trying to blag free travel. Even in Trigger Happy, did a show called World Shut Your Mouth for the BBC, and we started going off around the world. I frightened an Eskimo, which is a big story in the show. It's probably my favourite story. The BBC paid me and a crew to go all the way to Newfoundland to frighten an Eskimo, which we did, and then we went round the world just to do one tiny joke at each one of the 7 wonders of the world. I mean, it's one of the greatest wastes of time in the history of ever. Anyway, so then the show kind of rolls on from there, and then I'm on my 5th travel book, and so I go through some of the stories of places I've been, from crossing the American border illegally from Mexico, monster hunting the Congo, going to North Korea, Iran, skiing, Lebanon. Like, it's weird, and it is funny. And all this is like a PowerPoint. It's like, I'm calling it extreme PowerPoint to try and make it sound more exciting. And it is a really good show. And so I did this thing for 2.5 years. I've been doing it. It started off as a book tour for my last book, and then it just built and built. And then COVID stopped it for ages, and then I finished it off. And I have to say, I'm really good now.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm genuinely not showing off. I'm really good at it. And the annoying thing is, the tour's over, and it finished in Weston-super-Mare, and no one wants to finish in Weston-super-Mare. So I was mentioning this to the big boss here, and he said, well, let's do a gig in Oxford, because I hadn't done Oxford.
Yeah.
And, and I went to school in Oxford. I broadcast Oxford. My daughter's at uni in Oxford. I've got Oxford connections. I thought, that's great. And then he booked the new theatre, so I need help.
It's a big gig.
It's a big gig. So I don't think we'll fill it, but it's certainly going to be better than Weston-super-Mare. Then everything is.
You can get tickets. Do you know what the thing is? You can get tickets on the website, but I can't remember.
Our website,
Yeah.
jackfm/tickets.
No, it's jackfm.co.uk/tickets. Come on, guys.
Sorry.
That's it.
It's honestly so embarrassing on this radio station, because like I do the voice of the radio station, then there's an ad for my show, and now I'm being interviewed. I'm probably going to interview myself on my own show on Sundays.
Pop will eat itself.
Yeah, Pop has eaten itself.
What time is the show on Sundays?
Do you know what? That's a really good idea.
Oh my God, Dom!
Oh, what, my radio show?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I thought you meant my thing. It's 12 to 2. It's my
I
Sunday
hate to break
session.
it to you. Your thing is on Friday.
Yes, I know it is, yeah.
Oh, I said
No,
Sunday.
yeah, you said
Please
Sunday,
turn
yeah.
up.
Okay.
Yeah.
jackfm.co.uk/tickets. I would go, but as I said, I'm off to see
You're
the
seeing the
Delgados.
Delgados. I like the Delgados.
I love the Delgados.
And you're out of county. What does that mean? What the hell does out of county
This
mean?
sounds really late. I'm going to my sister's in Leighton Buzzard.
You
Why
came
don't you
up with that.
Why don't you just say that?
I don't
out
know,
of county. Sounds like you're running across state lines or something. What are you doing? Running booze? You're going to see your sister in Leighton Buzzard.
Yeah, drug
I know where that is. That's near Aylesbury.
Yes.
Only
That's
because
where
he just googled it.
I did Google it. I'd never heard of it.
We have to go because we're so late for the travel.
Oh,
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay, here's the trouble. It's all just wrong.
There we go.
Thank you very
Lovely.
much.
Should we go outside and chat?
Yeah. Thanks for that.
It's a pleasure, man. It's a huge
106 Jack FM.
It's
Jack
insane.
FM traffic.
One delays, A34 still heading down from Beedon. We've got congestion there as you head through towards the M4. One lane still closed on that southbound side, back of the queue around East Ilsley. There's some problems on the M40 heading down towards Junction 5 at Stokenchurch. We've got queues there because of an accident. One lane is closed, affecting you heading down towards High Wycombe. And quite heavy traffic on the A40, very busy heading through from Cassington to Ensham, and slow traffic Oxford bound towards the Wolvercote roundabout. Quite busy in towards the centre of Oxford, Botley Road and Oakley Bridge. More on the Jack Radio.